Welcome one, welcome all to Pit Road Productions for the third round of the Almeida Racing League. A fantastic series testing the mettle of students of the Almeida Racing Academy. We're at Okayama for the third round of the season. My name is Reese Gardner, Rob Campbell alongside me in the commentary box, and Daniel Zippy Salmon behind the scenes, handling production, bringing you these beautiful live pictures. Well, Rob, last round at Lebanon last weekend certainly turned up the action. I'm expecting more of the same here, but at a track where drivers are going to have a bit more space to make moves.
Yeah, we definitely saw a very different layout type of track last week at Lebanon with a lot of the hills, a lot of the rolling blind corners compared to what we're going to see at Okayama. I believe back in the day, Okayama did feature an F1 race or two. So as you mentioned, we're going to have a little more room out there to deal with tonight. So we'll see how our drivers are able to do that. A little smaller field, so a little less chaotic action on track, hopefully. But I'm sure we'll still have a number of battles and a whole lot of excitement, Reese.
Yeah, certainly. I'm hoping for more of the same. Yeah, it's a good point that you make. Okayama was actually on the 94 and 95 Formula One schedule, hosting the Pacific Grand Prix. It was considered a little bit compact for Formula One cars, but it's just right for these BMW M2s they're going to be racing today. Speaking of schedules, I reckon we should take a look at the remaining schedule for this league. We are, of course, at Okayama for the third round, and then we'll be at the halfway point of the season, whereupon we go to Charlotte, Laguna Seca, and Summit Point to end off the season. Certainly going to be a good choice of tracks for the drivers to work their way through as we go as well to the format for tonight. It is the same as usual. We had 20 minutes of practice already done. The drivers are in the middle of their 15-minute open qualifying session. 20 minutes race 1, 20-minute race 2, but the top 10 finishers from race 1 get inverted for the start of race 2. Fixed setup, no fast repairs, everyone is driving exactly the same settings, so certainly going to bring driver skill to the fore. And at a track like this, I think you really got to try and play to the BMW M2's strengths and also overcome its, well, I wouldn't call it weaknesses, more quirks, really. It is a pretty understeery car on the way in, and Okayama is a track where you need a car that rotates well on turn-in.
Yeah, definitely. It's as you mentioned, it's a little bit of a slow maneuver into the corner, but it does have a lot of that exit oversteer where our drivers will be able to use a little bit of throttle to counter that understeering nature of the car. As we're on board here with Connor Bell, one of the league admins, he decided to hop in behind the steering wheel tonight, and he's going to, I believe, he told our producer, Daniel Zippy Hammond, that he's going to try for the back-to-front challenge here tonight, Reese. So it'll be interesting to see how quickly he's able to move through the field. It's something we've seen one of the coaches, Kane Halliburton, do in previous races. So we'll see if Connor's able to duplicate the success that Kane's had in the weeks earlier.
Yeah, in Kane's absence, actually, Mr. Halliburton is also among the drivers that aren't here tonight for Split 1, so I suppose it's a double-edged sword. Yes, it's a smaller field, but for the drivers that are here, it is a chance to get some more points and up their standing in the championship. Speaking of points, we should have a look at how things stand coming out of the second round. Blue team is currently on top. Yellow not too far ahead of orange, and well, we will have to wait and see if Kane Halliburton can up his total points with him dead last there at the bottom behind all of the colours. Of course, the teams, Rob, are divided up evenly based on iRating out of the many sign-ups that this league had. I think over 160 people registering for this league out of the Almeida Racing Academy.
Yeah, definitely. I think last count, they've got 4 separate splits. We're just featuring the top split week in, week out. But yeah, a lot of drivers registered for this one. As we take a look at the overall driver standings, we see Andrew Moran, who's been a feature in our weeks past, generally up around the top, and that's got him to the top step of the standings right now, with Jusas Jacint in second place, Mahid Rahman taking a final spot on the podium there in third. Real tight battle between first and second, and then third and fourth out there, only a couple of points separating them. Then we got Craig Kakis in fifth, Adam Mika in sixth. So we'll see today. Kane Halliburton, we mentioned he's not out today, so he's going to lose some points. Dominiakis Concevius in eighth. Fernando Afonso and Cairo Ennis are going to round out the top 10.
Yeah, indeed they are. And crucially for Adam Mika, though he is sixth in the point standings, he currently tops qualifying. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can hold on to that and start this race on pole. He's only got 0.04 of a second in hand over Fernando Afonso, who currently joins him on the provisional second row. But we've still got plenty of this qualifying session left to run, around about 9 minutes or so, which is plenty of time to get a few laps in around Okayama. A very technical circuit, this one, and I think that's a reason why so many people like it so much. Yes, it's iRacing free content, and so anyone who's on the roadside knows this track like the back of their hand, but it's just a good circuit. It's really good for showing the strengths and weaknesses of a car.
Yeah, definitely. And it does have, as you mentioned, a smaller track, a little bit tighter confines, but it has I'd say probably three good overtake potential spots. Reese, definitely into turn one's probably gonna be your best spot. You got to run down the front straight, but also turn four and turn five, we're probably going to see a lot of overtake opportunities there too as well. So it is a technical track, but it's not one of those technical tracks where it's more of a follow the leader. There is a lot of opportunity for our drivers to make a move and gain a couple positions out there. So we should see some overtakes in this one.
We should indeed. Let's ride on board a lap with Connor Bell as he crosses the start-finish line to begin the lap. Coming into turns 1 and 2, these are medium speed corners, down in third gear in most cars and third gear in the BMW M2. And you get on the power nice and smoothly. You've got to be careful on the way into turn 2 though. It's a little off camber in the middle, and so it's very easy to run wide. And it's hard to pick the line through there as well because it's blind on the way in. Then there's the Moss S, this little flat out section before you get on the brakes for, I believe this is Atwood Corner at turn 5, and then hard on the power coming out onto the back straight, Rob. This is where we're going to get a lot of speed up, and looks like Connor's just running off the grass a little bit there. Obviously you don't want to do that in the race, but then you come to the heaviest braking point on the lap here for the hairpin. Such a tight corner, and we're going to be seeing a lot of passes here.
Yeah, it's easy to miss your braking marker on that end, and you're off into the gravel trap on the outside as he heads now down into turn 7 and turn 8. Real tight technical area here, but also easy to lose the back end of the car as they are medium to high speed corners as far as a 90-degree corner goes. But he's hopping into turn 8 now, also known as Redmond Curve, as he hops up the highest point of the track here now. 2 more corners to go, and he'll come around to finish up a lap here at Okayama. So it's a short lap, very quick, only about 1:39 for the BMW M2. So Connor's going to pull it into the pits. He's going to feel fairly confident in that lap that he's got enough time behind the wheel that he can make some moves through this one, Reese.
Yeah, absolutely. And you would have noticed there on the onboard that there's actually a speed limit sign before the yellow cones that denote where iRacing starts the speed limit. Of course, there's no mandatory pit stops in this league, and drivers are unlikely to have to make a pit stop unless they have damage, but still worth keeping in mind. It's always important to practice pit entry and make sure that you have that down pat. Okayama is one of those circuits where it can be a bit misleading. Well, Leon Bedvelsen has a family in the YouTube chat. Shout out to you all there. Hopefully, Dad'll be able to get a good result here today. He was certainly on the pace at Lebanon, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do here because he's currently on provisional pole. He's taken that away from Adam Mika, and looks like Andrew Moran is actually in the server as well. So we're going to have a very tight race up the front.
Yeah, we've got some of the usual suspects starting to make their way to the front of qualifying here, Race. But so we have some fans for Adam Mika too as well. So a couple of our drivers bringing out their fan clubs into the chat. So for added support, I'm not sure if any of them pop in to have a look at chat before the race starts, see what support's there. But I'm sure if they do, they'll be glad to see it as we're on board here with Adam Mika, as we just mentioned, currently sitting in third in qualifying. Only, what is that, 100th behind Andrew Moran. So tight battle at the top, although Bedvelsen a little bit more space over Andrew Moran, but our top, it's like 5, all separated by about 1/10. So real tight qualifying times out there. We'll see if anybody's able to find another 10th or 2. They got a little under 5 minutes to go, so time's starting to tick away, Reese.
Yeah, certainly is. So keep your eyes peeled for any big moves here as we keep our eyes on the number 17 car of Abdul Rahman Mahmoud. He makes his way down through that twisty section coming down the hill. So hard to pick the line out from there. and get your acceleration down on your way down the very short straight to that double hairpin. And the challenge for the drivers here, I think, we did highlight that you need to make sure the car is rotating a little on entry if you want to get a good run through the corner. But yeah, that's one part of the circuit where that really comes into play. And these last two corners, we didn't see them on board with Connor Bell, but they are challenging in their own right. The second last corner here, you can take just about flat out in nearly any car, and the curb can be quite brutal. So that's another track feature that the drivers are going to be on the lookout for here.
Yeah, definitely. It's also a bit of a blind corner too as well, Reese. You come out of that second last corner, you're kind of going over a little bit of crest coming down. You can't quite see the brake marker for the final corner as we're on board here now with Mr. Sargent, Mike Sargent, as he's currently sitting in 9th spot, just inside the top 10. He's trying to improve his time. He's got 1/10 back of Ivo Serafin. Move around the slower car that decided, yeah, I'm not on a quick lap. I'm going to let Mike go by. But Mike coming in, and he's going to drop into the pits too as well. As we're not going to see that final pair of corners yet, Reese. They just don't want to show them to us.
No, they certainly don't. I think what really comes into play in qualifying as well is managing the traffic as well, because you notice when we were on board, he wasn't quite able to get the maximum pace out of the end of the lap, and that's why he pulled out. There we go. Alessandro Ranieri, I believe, making his way through those final two corners now. Got to get on the power hard. There's a lot of curb that you can use on the exit there. But you also got to be careful not to pick up and off track. So let's see if there's any kind of improvement here for the purple machine. It doesn't look like... Oh, yeah, actually, there is an improvement there. That's Fernando Alfonso we were riding on board with. Sorry for misidentifying. 1 minute 39.089. That makes the entirety of the top three covered by a mere 6 or 7 hundredths of a second. This is mighty close.
I don't know if we could ask for it to be much closer, but definitely battling out there. I've seen a lot of jockeying around for the top 3 spots. They've only got about 1 minute and 40 seconds or so left, so potentially their last lap, depending where they are on track, as we see Andrew Moran looked like he might have been on a hot lap, but he's going to pull off to the side. Adam Mika currently in 4th. He just got dropped down 1 spot by that hot lap. We saw Fernando Alfonso come across and put in. So looks like Mika's midway on this lap. He's heading up through the back straight heading into turn 5. You see it's not quite fully straight. It's got a little bit of a kink through there. It also kind of marks the brake marker too as well for our drivers. So you can see a bit of a contact in some races, Reese, where you get the overtaking driver coming up and the guy ahead trying to hold his position, but sometimes they can't quite see where that kink is, and there's a little bit of contacts occasionally in races. So we'll see if any of that happens here tonight, if any of our drivers are a little more concentrating on trying to make that overtake and don't quite see that kink where it kicks in. But we'll see if Mika is able to improve his time. He's got 2 more corners to go, so he might be a little slower. I thought maybe he was going to drop into the pits there, but it looks like he is going to go around and finish up this lap. There's those curbs that Reese was talking about earlier. You get on the inside of them, they can throw the car out wide, holds it tight on the apex of turn 10, runs it out wide, and it's just a short straight shoot down the straight to the finish line. We'll see if he's able to improve. Currently in 4th spot with a 1:39.17. We'll see what he puts in here.
Yeah, looks like it was not a super quick lap for him there. 2:04.6, I believe. Might just be getting some extra track time in the final 14 seconds of this session. It is a heat format server, so that means there's a hard cut to the end of qualifying. Anyone who isn't crossing the line right now is not going to get their final lap in. So we're going to momentarily see everyone disappear off the track in just a couple of seconds. Thanos snap, and away they go. There we go then. Qualifying is done, and Leon Bentvelsen is on pole position for the first race of the day here in the Almeida Racing League. Andrew Moran will join him there on the front row. Fernando Alfonso and Adam Mika on row 2. Alessandro Ranieri in 5th place. Nicely done, starting alongside Matt Larkin. Aitor Blanco going to start alongside Abdul Rahman Mahmoud, with Ivo Serafimov and Mike Sargent rounding out the top 10. David Kent and Jan Janchik are going to start 11th and 12th, with Fernando Rosario Mario, second Fernando in the server, starting lucky 13th alongside Zoltan Zomotor. James Conrad, Urs Mueller, Ian Witham, Connor Bell, and Kane Halliburton will round out our 19 cars. There's Kane. He's in the server. So it's going to be a double last to first challenge from our coaches here. Can't wait to see what they can do.
Yeah, it's gonna be a battle for the bragging rights, Reese. We'll see who is the superior driving coach here tonight. I wonder if they've put any money on the board here to see who can finish ahead of the other one. But looks like we've got some fans for Leon Bentfelsen in the chat too as well. So they're happy to see Leon up top of the starting grid for this one. We'll see if he's able to hold on and take this one. He's going to have some tough competition of Andrew Moran, Fernando Alfonso, Adam Mika. Those top two rows were really battling back and forth in qualifying. So we could see any one of those drivers really being a real opportunist to take the win in this one, Reese. So we'll see how it plays out shortly as we're just waiting for the last couple cars to hit the grid. And then it looks like we're going to have a short pace lap behind the pace car. And this one will be underway for 30 minutes.
Yeah, indeed we will. So, yeah, 20-minute race for this. And judging by the lap times, I'm expecting that'll work out to about a 15-lap race, maybe 14 laps, depending on how quick the drivers at the front are. But I think there's going to be a lot of issues for the drivers at the front trying to stay out of each other's way because those qualifying times were so close. I mean, it's a difference of basically you turn in a little bit later, a little bit earlier, and that makes the difference for one single corner. The gap for pole position was a mere 0.054 seconds. So, yeah, it's going to be a great race between Leon and Andrew up the front of the field. But in terms of Kane Halliburton and Connor Bell starting at the back of the field, not setting qualifying times on purpose, they are coaches at the Almeida Racing Academy, so they definitely have what it takes to win. But the question is, which of them will finish ahead of the other? I don't know what my money's on for the moment.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But we've got the green cars out front looking strong. But you know what? It looks like we're taking some bets in chat. See who finishes ahead, Connor Bell or Kane Halliburton. You know what? I'm going to say Connor's going to make that car as wide as he can and going to make Kane work for it, but I think Kane might get around him in the end, so we'll see how it plays out. We've seen Kane be able to open up drivers ahead. We'll see if he opens the can opener on Connor to make some room.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen Connor Bell race, and I've only seen Kane Halliburton race a couple of times, so it's all up in the air for me. But just for familiarity's sake, my bet is on Kane. But we'll have to see how they go at the front of this field. The top students going to round the final corner here. Leon Bentfelsen will control the start here. They have to go on the iRacing green flag and no earlier, and they need to be very careful not to overtake before the start-finish line. A nice orderly start is what we want, but have a look at that. As soon as the green flag flies, they fan out to try and find a way through. Bentfelsen just ahead on the way into turn one, but someone's trying to squeeze it 3 wide there. That's Fernando Alfonso who was trying to stick his nose in there. He has to back out of it as the top two are side by side into turn 2. Hello, there's someone spun around. That's Jan Jančić that's gone for a whirl in turn 1. But the leaders are still side by side through the Moss S. Andrew Moran trying to stick it here to Leon Bentfelsen, but Leon has got the inside line for Atwood. He is going to take the lead. He is going to keep the lead. And Fernando Alfonso starting to come back already. Got to nail the exit. For now, it looks like Moran has nailed it. He's got a bit more momentum than Bentfelsen. The race is, man, it's amazing. They're racing like it's the last lap and it's only the first.
Yeah, no time to waste here, Reese. They're trying to make a move. I thought Alfonso might try and use the draft of Bentfelsen to try and move around Moran, but Moran was able to keep him at bay. He's going to have the inside line for the next couple corners. So Alfonso might have to drop in back as their top 3. Open up a bit of a gap over P4, Adam Mika. Mika will be looking to try and utilize that draft for the next couple corners, close that gap down. It looks like he has, but Team Blue and Team Green strongly represented again this week in the top 5, so we'll see them battle it out as it goes. But Moran not ready to give up on Bentfelsen yet. He's holding tight on the back bumper, trying to take the opportunity early on to jump up ahead of this one, knowing that they had the 2 strong coaches trying to charge up from the back, trying to open up that gap on them as early as they can. But I think Bentfelsen is going to lead them around, take P1 after lap 1.
Yeah, speaking of the coaches, Kane Halliburton's already worked his way up to 11th spot, and Connor Bell sits in 13th. There's the weave. Goodness me, the snake coming down the front straight. That is quite insane, especially at the low speeds that this car reaches. We'll have to wait and see through turn 2 if there's any mistakes here from anybody. It looks like Ben Filson was running a tiny bit wide in the lead, but for now, we'll keep our eyes peeled on the battle behind. It's Aitor Fernandez Blanco, I believe, followed by Mike Sargent and Ivo Serafimov. We ride on board with Mike Sargent in the white car as he tries to find his way up the inside of Blanco, but there's no giving in Atwood here this early in the race.
Yeah, Sargent currently in 8th spot, looking ahead at Blanco up ahead. Our field still, it looks like they've sorted out single file for the most part, Reese, but we got a battle here between Kane Halliburton trying to make a move around Serafimov. He's going to dive late on the brakes, go out wide, use that banking on that corner, try and hold on that spot. He's going to have the inside line for the next couple of corners, so I believe that should be all it requires for Halliburton to move ahead of Mahmoud up into 10th spot. Next ahead, Serafimo just ahead of him. So Halliburton now up into the top 10. Connor Bell in 13th place. So the battle of the coaches. Halliburton's holding on right now as we see Connor Bell making a move on the inside. Oh, look, he had some contact there. So
Oh dear.
Fernando Rosario, the other Fernando in this one, unfortunately felt the wrath of Connor Bell's front bumper, but see, he sorted it back out and he's back on track.
Yeah, looks to me like actually contact wasn't made there. Rosario just lost the rear end all on his own. Yes, Bell was trying to sneak up the inside, but it seemed like Rosario just lost the rear end for a moment there and ultimately spun around back down in 17th place. Oh, hello. Looks like Fernando Afonso has gotten into 2nd place. Seems like Andrew Moran has had a problem and fallen back to 5th place. So Adam Mika is now the Team Green leader. How did it happen? Oh, he was trying to go for it on Benfilson, but Leon was having none of it.
Yeah, Benfilson was able to fight off the attack, and unfortunately for Moran, we saw the back end of that car get squirrely, as we've seen happen in weeks past. These cars, not very aero dependent. They don't have a whole lot of aerodynamics. Don't let that wing fool you on the back end. It's not doing a whole lot out there. It's more for cosmetics than anything else. But Benfilson still out front. Fernando Afonso now is going to try and take over that chase for P2 as we drop back here. Look, Kane Halliburton, he's trying to make a move on Mike Sargent in that white car up ahead. Sargent also embroiled in a battle with Alessandro Fernando Blanco up ahead. So he's having to look at the windshield, trying to chase down the car ahead, but also be leery of Kane Halliburton in behind as we see Sargent move right up on the back end of Blanco there. Might even give him a little boop. Very close quarters. Nobody giving any inch. Everybody trying to take every position that they can, but Sargent's going to continue that fight, all the while knowing that Kane Halliburton's ready to pounce in behind.
I really enjoy these short sprint races. You really see drivers going for big moves and trying to make it stick. And that's what we've seen every round of the Almeida Racing League thus far. The weave is still going on down the front straight there. Everyone, I think, just trying to protect from those behind because they know that if a single mistake is made, they're going to be sitting ducks. Well, for now, Benfilson is keeping his eye on the mirrors, waiting for Fernando Afonso to try and spring a move. But for now, the lap times seem pretty even. Afonso was a tiny bit faster on the last lap, but Benfilson still setting some good pace. The fastest lap of anyone so far has been Matt Larkin with a 139.2, and Halliburton trying his best to nail the run out of Atwood, but a little bit of oversteer put paid to that.
Yeah, he gave Sargent a little bit of a boop there, give him a little turbo boost there, but to see Kane Halliburton trying to fend off now, who is that Abdulrahman Mahmoud in behind, who is trying to take advantage of that little slip up that he had coming out. It looks like Ivo Serafimov's got around Mahmoud now, so those two green cars battling each other as well as being teammates, but it's like Halliburton was able to hold off the charge from the two of them. He's got himself gathered back out, but on board with Serafimov, who could be in a little bit of the best seat in the house here. Tight pack of cars up ahead that have been battling. We've seen Kane be real aggressive in races past. We've seen him be able to open up drivers in the past, so that could open up an opportunity for Serafimo and Mahmoud to try and sneak through at the same time. We're on board here now with Matt Larkin Larkin currently holding down 5th place. He's got Andrew Moran. Moran, we saw a little bit of an off-track incident earlier. He's trying to recover, but Larkin in 5th place, trying to work with Moran as the top two have opened up a bit of a gap over 3rd through 5th. They're trying to work nose to tail here, work to get a couple green cars, trying to close that gap back up. We'll see if they're able to reel back in Afonso and Benfelsen up ahead.
Yeah, a little bit wide in turn 1 there for Moran, and a little wide on the exit of turn 2 as well for the white car behind. That is Mike Sargent, who I think is going to have his defense against Kane Halliburton almost come to an end here. Kane is obviously very skilled at the corner exit out of Atwood here, and the wider line is often better here. Halliburton has the momentum coming out of the corner. That is up to 8th place now for Kane Halliburton. Connor Bell, meanwhile, has stalled in his run up the field. He's back in 14th, and he hasn't made many more moves forward. He is going to try and make one here, though. That's David Kent up in front of him, and Zoltan Zomotor in the orange car just up ahead. Battle for 12th place. Bell, I think, is just feeling things out for the moment. Remember, it's only lap 5. And we have to make sure that we survive to the end. Even in a short 20-minute race, that's what you need. Well, it looks like Fernando Rosario has had a problem there in car 6. Already seen him suffer a little with the rear end, and it looks like he caught the grass on the way into the corner. And, well, once you do that, it's unloaded, and he got a big smash there from the orange car. I'm not sure who that was, but looks like it might have been Urs Mueller who made his way through on there with a little bit of a whack. So that's unfortunate for the both of them, but they still run. They are still in the race. And here comes Connor Bell. No, sorry, that's Kane Halliburton making the move on Aitor Fernandez Blanco to get into the top 7.
Yeah, Kane's still moving out there. That's up 12 spots now from where he started, so he's well within the top 10, but could we see maybe Connor Bell just making a play for trying to get only into 10th, Reese? To use that invert for race number 2? Could that be his strategy here? But we'll see how that plays out. I'm sure that's not on his mind, but these drivers, the students up ahead, I'm sure there's a bit of nervousness once they see the coaches in behind in their rearview mirror. They definitely don't want to get involved in an incident then. So I wonder if that might be playing out a little bit for Kane Halliburton as well, as we're seeing a lot of the drivers when he ducks into the inside, instead of battling it out, they're being a little more cautious and kind of just letting him go and trying to tuck in behind him, seeing if he can open up a couple positions for them up ahead. So we'll see if that continues to play on, or as he works up towards the front of the field, those guys get a little more argy-bargy, arms out, elbows out, and a little more pride on the line, where they want to beat that coach, finish up ahead of him, to see Kane dive up on the inside. I believe that's Alessandro Ranieri as well to take over that position.
Yeah, goodness gracious, that is pretty crazy. Well, you know, it's actually a really good point that we raise about the coaches starting from the back of the field. There's actually points on the line for the students. For every lap that a student successfully defends against a coach, starting from when they're 0.3 seconds behind, they earn 2 extra championship points. And if a coach receives a penalty, the other drivers involved are going to receive those penalty points as well, added to their running totals. So you need to, it's another sort of learning opportunity for these students. They get rewarded for being able to defend and race cleanly against the people who coach them.
Yeah, it's an interesting change to the plot here, Reese. So we'll see if any of our drivers remember that. As we saw, like, as I mentioned, a lot of them have kind of just let it go, but we'll see if they a couple championship points towards the top of the standings could really play out here. As we saw right now, the championship standings are real tight at the top, only a couple points separating most of our top 5. So there's a little bit more incentive there to hold those coaches behind them. So we'll see as Kane gets a little closer to the front. Connor, now he's up into 13th place, so he's moving through the field. Right now it'll be Zoltan Zomotor that's ahead of Connor Bell, trying to gain those extra points. And then we've got Matt Larkin, who's the car in front of Kane Halliburton now, trying to gain those hold the coach at bay points.
Yeah, indeed. Well, keep things going for the time being. We are past the halfway point of the race. Just over 8 minutes remain in this first race of round 3 of the Almeida Racing League, and Connor Bell still trying to find his way past Zoltan Zomotor. Fernando Afonso trying to catch up to Leon Benvelsen at the front of the field. Leon has driven incredibly well here. He's managed to keep Fernando at bay, and I think it's a really good drive that he's experiencing right now. The Leon fan club in the chat is going to be loving this, but can we see Fernando Afonso make up any extra time? You know what? Pretty much every time I've looked at the last lap time for these two, Afonso has been maybe half a tenth quicker, but there's just these occasions where he loses a little more, and so the gap is staying constant. We'll have to wait and see what more they can do from here as Matt Larkin looks at the rear end of Kane Halliburton. Halliburton now up into the top 5, and he's looking to chase the two Team Green cars of Andrew Moran and Adam Mika up ahead.
Yeah, definitely Halliburton looking strong as usual. Larkin was able to hold him off for a little bit. I'm not sure if he got the full lap of bonus points there, but as you mentioned, Benvelsen looking strong so far this race. He's had to fend off a couple charges, and he's done well. So right now, Halliburton, his next victim could be Adam Mika just ahead in that green car. Mika is Mika was our points leader in the Drivers' Championship, so he'll want to try and garner any extra points here he can, bonus points, to try and keep Halliburton behind him the best he can. The Halliburton thinks about looking to the inside, showing him the front end, trying to unsettle Mika. Mika not having any of it. He's going to hold on to that position with 2 corner to go. We're getting into the real tight, twisty section to head down to the front straight. Mika's going to have to be careful over these inside curbs, which can throw your car out wide. See, looks like the car unsettles a little bit through there. Mika able to hold on to it, and he'll looks like he's going to hold on to that spot as they cross the line and hold Halliburton off. But Halliburton might get a good run through the draft here to make a move into turn 1. See ducks. Oh, we got a couple cars in the background going off into the wall. Not sure who that was, but could have been Connor Bell involved in that. One of our coaches. We'll have to see if we can get a replay of that shortly. But as up front, Afonso is still trying to chase down Benvelsen. We're back on the replay here. Connor Bell, and I believe that was Blanco up ahead of it. Oh no, they just.
So there was nothing Connor Bell could do there. Zoltan Zomotor just running a little wide out of the corner there, caught the gravel and the rear end swung around. Bell, I think, was just too close to react in time. Just unfortunate there.
Yeah, just one of those instances of dropping a tire into the gravel and you're just along for a ride at that point in time. But Benvelsen still out front, although Afonso's starting to make a charge here. He's starting to see the clock run down as you've got just over 5 minutes to go in this one. It's now or never for Afonso. They've opened up a bit of a gap over Andrew Moran, so they've got time to battle here without really having to worry about Moran becoming a factor. So we'll see if Afonso finds room to tuck that nose up the inside here.
Yeah, we will see indeed. 5 minutes just about to remain in this race. So now the pressure is certainly on for both of these drivers at the front of the field. Halliburton has made his way up to 4th. That's 15 positions gained, as you can see on the timing tower. That's a massive run through the field for one of our 2 resident coaches there. But I don't know if he'll be able to catch up to these guys by the end. Yeah, there's still 5 minutes, but we have to wait and see what the lap times are like here. Halliburton, I think, has experienced clear air for the first time in a while. It's a 1 minute 39.4 there for Leon Benvelsen, and it's a 1:39.2 for both Andrew Moran and Kane Halliburton. So they are making up a bit of time here on our top 2. Could have ourselves a 4-way battle for the lead if everything goes to plan.
Yeah, definitely. We can see Moran looking a little closer in the far end of the camera shots here than what he was moments ago, but Afonso really getting later on the brakes there, trying to put pressure on Benvelsen the best he can. Benvelsen's doing well so far. It's been 15 and a half minutes of defense starting from that pole position, so he'd hate to lose it right now. He's going to do everything he can to make that BMW as wide as possible, as Afonso doesn't look like he's going to make a move here yet. By the time, might try for the outside move there a little later on the brakes. I think that was out of necessity more than attempting a maneuver there.
Yeah, if anything, it looked like Benvelsen was a little bit early on the brakes, but regardless, Afonso trying to go for dives anywhere he can, and that's a big part of the psychological game of racing, and it's something that that you can certainly learn through the Almeida Racing Academy, is pressuring a rival making sure that, you know, not only are you driving well and you're nailing your way around the racetrack, but how to drive those alternate lines, move around in the mirrors of your rival, and potentially psych them out. That is a big part of racing, and it's something that often gets a lot of attention, but we're seeing it in action right now. Leon Bentvilsen under pressure from Fernando Alonso. Both of them lost time on that lap, and Andrew Moran is now right on them. Can we see this three-way battle for the lead eventuate here? Oh man, Afonso is so late on the brakes there. He's diving into the first turn. He's making that ABS work.
Yeah, it's you can definitely start to see that Bentvilsen is starting to feel a little bit of the pressure from Afonso, starting to drift a little wide into the corners, getting on the throttle a little heavier, starting to having to gather up that back end. So see Afonso looking for a move around the outside,
Oh,
having to go defensive. Looks like Bentvilsen's going to hold that on for now, but Afonso might get the better run up the back straight. So this is a straight plus, so you really need that exit. It looks like it's a drag race now. Moran tucked in behind Afonso, trying to use that draft. Bentvilsen has the inside line here. We'll see if Afonso goes late on the brakes as he has the last few times. He does, but unable to make that move. He can keep side by side. He would have had the inside line for the next couple of corners. Bentvilsen's going to hold him off. Nice defense there by Leon, able to hold off Fernando Afonso.
yeah, brilliant stuff this battle has turned into. And look at Kane Halliburton lurking in the background. He is right on these three now. 2 minutes remain in this race. It looks like this may very well be, or potentially 2 laps to go, maybe 1 lap to go. It all depends on when they cross the line. Well, it's a good exit for Bentvilsen. And Andrew Moran lifts off just a little bit there coming into the final couple of corners. Make sure he has the space to take advantage of the exit here. And look at the gains that he's making here on Fernando Afonso. They stay with each other. The weave is on here as it looks like this is likely going to be the white flag lap. We'll have to wait and see. It was very, very close. Might be 2 laps to go, might be 1 lap to go. We're not entirely sure. But for now, the second place battle is on. Fernando Afonso has been distracted from his run, trying to get past Leon Bentvilsen. Now he's got to try to keep Andrew Moran behind him. And is there a move at Atwood? Defensive now for Fernando Afonso. Can Moran find his way past on the exit? The throttle is nailed by all of them. But look at this. Kane Halliburton's right with them. He could get 2 for 1 here into the next braking zone.
Yeah, definitely potential for Kane to make a move, but it's interesting. We saw Afonso, who we saw on the offensive the last couple of laps, now on the defensive heavy, trying to keep Moran and Halliburton behind him. Bentvilsen loves seeing that in his rearview mirror as Moran ducks out wide, cuts in, almost takes the front end off Halliburton. Halliburton probably had to lift a little bit there. You see him out on the gravel now, Moran defending and trying to take over position as well. That's never an enviable position, Reese.
No, certainly not. I'm not seeing a white flag on my display, so I think we are actually coming to the white flag now. Look at the lunge from Andrew Moran. He has taken advantage of those brakes into the hairpin, but can he keep the momentum up through the corner? Often, if you're braking too hard into a turn, you end up scrubbing the tires on the way in, and that hurts you. Well, we'll see if anyone is able to make that work, as across the line they will come. And actually, is this the checkered flag? I'm not sure. Across the line they come. Leon Bentvilsen. Yeah, that is the checkered flag. Leon Bentvilsen wins the race ahead of Fernando Afonso and Andrew Moran. Kane Halliburton has to settle for 4th place, but he wins the battle of the coaches for now. Leon Bentvilsen, what a drive to victory there.
Yeah, what a last couple laps, Reese. We saw battle for P1 for 3 out of the last 5 laps, and then that's where Andrew Moran and Kane Halliburton decided that they were going to be a factor for P2, and Afonso had to go on the defensive. So well done by our top 4 there the last few laps. Definitely entertaining. That's what we like to see.
Yeah, that was a magnificent finish and really clean battling. We have to highlight, you know, especially after the chaos of Lebanon, very refreshing to see that the race was clean and respectful amongst the vast majority of our field. Awesome to see. Well, we'll go through our results very quickly and see that Leon Bentvilsen. We'll wait and see actually, because looks like the session is still actually coming to a close. We don't officially have the results yet, but man, what a drive from our top 3.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes these heat sessions are a little wonky with when it throws the checkered flag and when it calculates the results. We'll get those up shortly. But yeah, definitely a hard charge out of our top four, top three. So now they're going to invert. So it looks like finishing in 10th was Ivo Serafimov. That's going to put him on pole for race number 2. So we'll see how he does there. Is looks like we're getting the results up here now. So we saw Leon Bentfelsen take it from pole to checker flag. Nicely done by him. I'm sure the fan club in chat was happy to see that. Fernando Afonso settled for P2 after he had that late race battle with Ando Moran, who came home P3. Kane Halliburton in fourth. Matt Larkin in fifth. Mike Sargent brought it home in sixth. Adam Mika in seventh. Alessandro Ranieri in eighth. Ader Blanco in ninth. Ivo Serafimov, as I just mentioned, is going to sit on pole for race 2, and he'll have Blanco to his outside. Abdul Rahman Mahmoud just missing outside of the top 10 in 11th. David Kent in 12th. Ian Witham in 13th. Jan Janchik in 14th. Urs Muller in 15th. James Conrad in 16th. Zoltan Somator 17th. Fernando Rosario and Connor Bell unfortunately did not see the checkered flag.
Yeah, Connor Bell, definitely. That incident that he unfortunately had with Zoltan Zomotor damaging his car too much to continue. And so he's going to try the last to first challenge again in race 2. We'll see if he gets as far as Kane Halliburton got. Regardless, reviewing, this is certainly a fantastic event, and there's yet more to come. It is brought to you, of course, by the Almeida Racing Academy. Let's hear from them briefly.
If you're a racing driver and you want to reach an advanced level, there's a faster and easier way to become competitive. I've gone from this to this in 5 years. Now, we've created the perfect free driver development guide to help you understand the right order of racing skills to develop if you want to become a competitive driver as quickly as possible. This guide was made after 3,000 hours of combined high-level coaching.
Well, I tell you what, Rob, it's fantastic to have the support of the Almeida Racing Academy here for the Almeida Racing League. And if anyone in watching the broadcast has just joined us, we have to highlight again, this is a league for students of the Almeida Racing Academy. And you really get an opportunity to test your mettle and really see what you've learned.
Yeah, definitely. And they have we're only featuring the top split, which is the drivers in the league who have the highest iRating, which is basically a indication of how well you've done in official iRacing races. But there's actually 3 more other splits with drivers who have a little less ranking, Reese. So there's something for all drivers of all ranges out here. So anybody watching who thinks, I'd like to participate in that, those guys are very skilled and very fast. There are other ways that you can be involved too as well. So it's open for anybody and everybody. So I'm sure they'd love to hear from you if you have any interest in it at all.
Yeah, absolutely. The Almeida Racing Academy has certainly been making waves. I know that I've seen Swelio Almeida's YouTube shorts quite a bit over the last couple of years, and really awesome to see the support that they're giving to up-and-coming developing drivers on the iRacing service. But yeah, just reviewing that first race, that was everything that I want out of a spec race in BMW M2s. The battling was clean. We saw some potential big moves, drivers trying to make big dives, but ultimately backing out when it was sensible and keeping it respectful.
Yeah, definitely. We saw, as you mentioned, a lot of battles. We saw the students using, I'm sure what they've learned, some techniques as well. Defensive driving, trying to make their car a little wider than normal, use up a little more track width to try and hold that car behind and put a damper in the run that they're getting. So it was nice battles. Hopefully we see a lot of the same in race number 2, Reese, because yeah, this spec racing where everybody has to run the same setup, same car. Just the only difference is the driver. You're on the same track. Just a matter of mano a mano, see who has the quicker skills this time out. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, certainly will. There's less than a minute to go in the warm-up, so we got to wait and see exactly where everyone's going to be getting things started for race 2. But for now, we'll briefly review this last lap battle. Man, what a fight it was in these last couple of corners. A brilliant drive again from Leon Benvelsen to try and keep the pressure contained. And I mean, granted, there weren't any passes made, but the racing itself was fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. This was when Fonzo was really pressuring Bentelsen, but shortly hereafter, he started to feel a whole lot of pressure from Moran, where he had to drop back. And Bent Wilson loved to see that, as we mentioned earlier on, when you're the leader and you can see the cars behind you starting to battle, and you know you can open up that gap. That's exactly what you want to see there. Just seeing Kane Halliburton not falling for the serpentine on the front straight. He just kept to the left there. But Afonso, this is where he had to start to go on the defensive from Moran, as we start to see Moran put a whole lot of pressure, and that allowed Bent Wilson to run away the last lap and take this one pole to pole.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it all started really for Afonso, the exit of turn one there, as it looks like we've been very rudely kicked out of that replay by the session changing. So we'll review exactly where they're going to be starting here with Ivo Serafimov. Finishing 10th place in race 1. He's got pole for race 2. Aitor Blanco is going to share the front row with him. Alessandro Ranieri and Adam Mika 3rd and 4th. Mike Sargent and Matt Larkin behind them. Halliburton starts 7th alongside the car of Andrew Moran, and Afonso and Bendvelsen will start 9th and 10th. From there on, it's where they finished in race 1. Abdul Rahman Mahmood, David Kent, our 6th row of the grid. Ian Witham and Jan Janchik are going to start behind them, with Urs Mueller, James Conrad, Zoltan Zamator, Fernando Rosario, and Connor Bell rounding out our 19 cars. It's good to see that everyone is continuing on from race 1. I know at Lebanon last week we did have a driver or two that wasn't able to make both races due to internet issues or otherwise, so awesome to see that everyone is still here and ready to have another crack.
Yeah, looks like we're just waiting for Ian Witham and Aitor Fernandez Blanco did not grid, so we'll see if they start from the pit lane in this one, but a couple drivers had to go and pull the backup car out of the garage. Connor Bell and I believe it was Zoltan Zomator, so they'll be looking to improve on last race's results, as our field heading off around behind the pace car, getting ready to start heat number 2. This is the final heat. There'll be no heat 3 and no invert in this one race. So this is for all the marbles. And we've got Kane Halliburton starting in the middle of the top 10 of this one. So we'll see if he's able to make his way up through the front quicker this one. And we'll see if our lead pack are able to. Oh, no, sorry. We just got word that he's actually starting at the back with Connor Bell. So another back-to-front challenge from our two coaches, Kane Halliburton and Connor Bell.
Yes, Kane giving himself an end-of-line penalty to start from the rear again, and once more potentially afford some of the students championship points by successfully defending. And of course, if a coach is involved in an incident and receives penalty points for that, the drivers involved in the incident with them get those points added to their totals. So penalty points for the coach means more points for you. That is the basic way about it. Well, it's a Team Green 1-2 at the front of the field. Team White doing well in the top 10 there as well. We'll have to wait and see if Serafimov and Blanco can hold off the charging pack, waiting for the call of the green flag. And the final race of the evening is go. And have a look at them fan out once again. Side by side for the lead. It's going to be 3 wide here, with it looks like Matt Larkin trying to make it there around the outside there. Alessandro Ranieri as well in the white car, trying to challenge for a position in the top 3. Already had Ian Witham unfortunately fall to the back. Adam Mika falling to 3rd place, as we have a potential run through here. Oh my goodness, they're all together. On the way up to Atwood, that's someone off the track. One of the Team Green guys, I think it was Andrew Moran. And, well, he's managed to recover it nicely. But still, relatively clean start. No big dramas just yet. We'll see what happens when they get to the hairpin.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen it was Moran second off tonight, so he's done a little bit of landscaping for the landscaping crew. I'm sure they'll be grateful of that. But a couple of the Team Green cars managed to hold on to their top spot, Serafimov and Mika, although Serafimov went a little wide. Mika looking to make a move on him here, as Ranieri trying to hold off, or trying to make a move on Matt Larkin in that white car. Larkin able to hold off that charge for now, but really dicey between our top 3 is Larkin looking to the inside of Mika.
Spin in the back.
Was able to film. Now he's got Ranieri looking the inside. Oh, we've got David Kent up into the wall. He has got some significant damage on the front end of that car. He's definitely going to have to come in for some repairs. We'll take a look at how that happened. Looks like he just got loose on the curbing, then Unfortunately, bounced off. It looked like the inside of, I believe that might have been Connor Bell, or Kane Halliburton, one of our coaches, bounced off the inside of him and into the wall. Unfortunately, that's going to end David Kent's race number 2.
Yeah, I think it was Halliburton that the contact was made with. He ran right into the back of David Kent. It was a little bit of difficulties. They were packed like sardines in a crushed tin box, as it were, and Kent had no choice but to be spun around there. Well, here we go. We're going to see it ever so briefly, the damage that Kane Halliburton has suffered, and well, he completed most of the race at Lebanon without a front end to speak of, so I would expect him to still race his way forward, but that is a little chink in the armor that Kane Halliburton's going to have to deal with now.
Yeah, definitely. It's like Connor Bell has moved up ahead of Halliburton in the battle of the coaches. Connor Bell up into 11th, Halliburton in 13th. So as we see Halliburton, that's Halliburton, sorry, making a move on Rosario. Not ready to let Bell get too far away now, as they're going to be 11th and 12th. We got a battle. Fernando Afonso trying to make a move around Matt Larkin. Larkin fighting him off on the inside. Afonso, we saw, had the speed in race 1. We'll see if he's able to make this move stick. Larkin with the inside, Afonso with the outside. That's going to give Afonso the inside for the next couple of corners if he can keep it side by side with him. He's doing the best he can to do it. A little bit of contact there, but they keep going. Tight quarters on board here with Mike Sargent's bumper. He's got the best seat in the house for this battle. It's going to go too wide into the final corner. This may not play out well. Oh, Larkin's going to have to bail. Afonso's going to take that spot. Larkin's going to lose another spot to Sargent, potentially. Sargent trying to capitalize on that maneuver. He's got a bumper ahead heading into turn 1, Reese.
Man, what a fight. And, it was very well defended there by Fernando Afonso. Sargent squeezed him to the inside, but it was Larkin who squeezed him to the inside, but he was able to make it work, and it looks like Sargent has managed to find his way past Larkin, and now Matt's with Leon Bentvelsen, who won the first race, remember. Leon's already working his way up through the field, up to 4 places gained now here in race 2, and it looks like his Team Blue teammate is going to try and keep Alessandro Ranieri behind and allow Bentvelsen to try and charge forward further.
Yeah, we got a battle shaping out here between Team Blue and Team White as they were able to gather up. Team Green up ahead. Andy Moran's managed to get himself up there to join his teammates. We saw this happen in race 1 of week 1, where Team Green locked out the podium, but the purple car of Fernando Afonso, we saw plenty of speed. He and Mike Sargent trying to work together, try and gain that back up. Mike Sargent makes the move on the inside of Afonso. He's going to run Afonso out wide. Oh, they touch.
Whoa,
Sargent's
no.
Get spun around. Oh, no.
Dear, oh dear, Mike Sargent swinging around. That was massive. And it looks like we've also had a bit of a problem for Kane Halliburton and Connor Bell as well. It seems both of our coaches have towed back to the pits. So there's been some significant development that we've missed. We'll get another look at that incident there. Just coming together on the exit of the left-hander. And once you do come together, there's not much you can do to turn it around. Afonso, he couldn't have gone much more to the right than he did. Those Team Blue cars were very lucky to escape that.
Yeah, Team Blue, Matt Larkin and Leon Bentvelsen, loving seeing that. That's going to move them up into 4th and 5th. Now they're going to be in their charge after Team Green up top. As we have a look here, what happened to Kane Halliburton and Connor Bell. It looks like Halliburton might have got spun around somehow, and Bell had nowhere to go, just got collected up in it. But that yellow car, was that David Kent involved in that too as well? I can't remember any of the other yellow cars out there, but we'll take a look.
We'll see actually that, coach on coach action. That is friendly fire from our 2 coaches. Connor Bell turning Kane Halliburton around, and the orange car there of Zoltan Zomotor. Not the first time that he's made contact with Connor Bell, but this time he was the one making contact from behind. That is a very awkward moment between our coaches.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the debrief is in the trailer on that one, Reese. But unfortunately, it takes them out. That's going to eliminate all of the potential coach battle points for our pack, so they're going to have to rely on just raw outright pace and points here for this one. As we see Jan Janchik right now in 8th spot, he's trying to hold off Abdul Rahman Mahmoud in 9th. As we jump back up to take a look at our leaders, Team Green in formation here now, nose to tail. Looks like they've got team orders to kind of hold status quo in this one, but we might see if we get team orders let Adam Mika, our championship points leader right now, currently in third spot. We'll see if they go with the invert here as they fan out. Actually, it looks
look,
like there
that's
we go. Team orders starting to shuffle through there.
Yeah, lifting off on the way into turn one. It seems like he was just letting Andrew Moran go. So trying to preserve the best result possible for Team Green by allowing the faster driver through. Well, certainly some good tactics there, and you see how much of a gap Andrew Moran already has. Now the challenge is for Adam Mika to find his way past Ivo Serafimov here. It is still a Team Green 1, 2, 3 at the front of this field. And speaking of team colours, Team Red, we did see Jan Janchik behind. He's involved in the battle with Abdul Rahman Mahmoud, and Mahmoud's going to find his way back past him. No, he's not. Oh, he's going to find his way around the front of Jan Janchik and into the concrete barrier. Another awkward incident, this time coming out of Atwood. Jan Janchik has had a very tough night so far, and he was making a great run up through the field, but unfortunately, it seems that's going to be one more problem for him to add to his list of woes tonight.
Yeah, definitely not the evening of races that Janchik's going to want to have on his resume for sure, but he's currently in the middle of Team White here, as he's got Alessandro Ranieri ahead of him. Or sorry, Fernando Rosario ahead of him.
Oh, no, again!
Behind him. No!
Oh, dear. Janchik gets turned around as well. Looked like Mike Sargent got into the back of him a little bit there. So, oh, man, that was a great run up through the field for Fernando Rosario in the white car. Unfortunately, he has found himself all the way back to where he started, more or less. No, actually, still up 6 positions. It's been a good run for him regardless. But, man, this has turned into a bit of a chaotic race, hasn't it? I mean, I knew the top 10 invert would switch things up a little bit. It was rather pedestrian race 1 compared to what we're seeing now.
Yeah, we're not even at the halfway mark, so patience is definitely a virtue in this race, but I don't know if we might have to change Jan Janchik's name to John Wick in this one, because he's leaving down everybody. As we're on board with Leon Bentelsen, race 1 winner. He's trying to tow teammate Matt Larkin behind, still trying to chase the Team Green machines up ahead. Team orders still haven't played out. We're still seeing championship leader Adam Mika in third. I thought maybe they'd invert as Team Blue, along with Fernando Afonso, the lone representative of Team Purple at the front of this one. Starting to close down the green cars up ahead, so we should see a battle unfolding here in the next lap or two as they're quickly closing that gap, Reese.
Yeah, they certainly are. Well, gently does it for Leon Bentelsen and Matt Larkin here, dragging Fernando Afonso along with them, and the top 6 are all together. We are now at the halfway point of this race, and it is looking like a 6-way battle for the lead. Can Team Green keep the 2 blues and a purple behind them, is the big question on my mind. Well, Ivo Serafimov is holding strong in 2nd place. Yes, he did let Andrew Moran go, but he hasn't exactly let Moran get away, has he? It's nice even spacing between the green cars, and I think they'll be conferring with each other and trying to set something up here for a defense.
Yeah, they could just go full-on flying V at this point, Reese, and just block the whole track and keep them behind them. But I think right now, Fernando Afonso, if I was him in 6th place, I'd be saying, hey, if we mix those green and blue cars together, they'd be purple, right? So we can just all be Team Purple here and just let me get up to the front, but we'll see if it plays out. I don't know if he'll get much cooperation from those guys, showing the speed that he had in race number 1. Currently our top 2 from race 1, Afonso and Bentelsen, not too far separated on track, so we'll see if they renew their battle here shortly, if they work together this one to chase down Team Green. But Team Green still holding strong up top, but I suspect that Adam Mika going to be feeling a little bit of pressure from race 1 winner Leon Bentelsen here shortly, as he's starting to close that gap, only about a car length between the 2 of them, as Afonso looks like he's content right now to stay tucked in behind the car of Matt Larkin up ahead as they're continuing to close that gap. He's still got plenty of time to try and make a move, so Afonso showing some patience here, sitting in the, I'd say, the catbird seat. If something were to happen with a battle up ahead, he could easily take advantage of that opportunity, Reese.
Yeah, it's better to hang back and stay clean, isn't it? Especially considering that Fernando Afonso gathered 10 penalty points from the first race of the previous round at Lebanon. So he's already got that hanging over his head. That's 10 points less that he's going to have in the championship. So he needs to make sure that he's careful about his moves and is able to pick them off when they make mistakes. He doesn't want to be the aggressor of an incident, doesn't want to make a mistake and get more penalty points slammed on top of him by the administrators. Well, looks like Serafimov. I can't tell with Serafimov if he's just making small mistakes and slowing himself down, or if he's trying to give Andrew Moran some kind of advantage. Remember, Moran is technically leading the Drivers' Championship, so he's got a lot to play for here if he wins in race 2. But his Team Green teammates will continue the fight here to try and keep Leon Bentvelsen behind him. If Bentvelsen could get a first and another podium tonight, that'd be a great points total for him, and he'd certainly try to make an impact on the top of the championship.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I think we need to mention we got Sammy Hendricks in chat, one of the drivers normally in this league. Looks like he couldn't make it for this race, but he's made a comment. Said Team Green, yuck, that's the color of vegetables. So Sammy, not a fan of vegetables, definitely not putting his support behind Team Green. So we see Leon Bentvelsen, the representative at the head of the Team Blue here, trying to chase down Adam Mika up ahead. Time starting to run out on this one. We're under 7 minutes to go, so that's going to be only about another 5, maybe 6 laps or so. Drivers really starting to feel the pressure to make the moves here. So we're starting to see a little bit of debris, more and more pop up on the corners as drivers using the full track width and then some, dropping a tire left and right out here. But we still see Serafimov and Mika dropped off a little bit of the back of Moran, trying to hold back Team Blue, allowing Moran to lead around this one, maximize his points haul. As we're on here with Fernando Rosario, he's got that's Mike. Excuse me, that's a battle here between Rosario and Ranieri here. You see Rosario trying to make the move. Sorry, I've got all the wrong drivers here. Jan Janchik. Yeah.
Oh, again!
Oh,
take 2. Oh, good lord. Well, it seems like Jan Janchik and Fernando Rosario are almost incapable of racing each other tonight without making a bit of contact. Second time we've seen that happen between them. So, unfortunate, but we'll see what further develops from that. Meanwhile, back up to the battle for 5th. Fernando Afonso, unsuccessful in getting past Matt Larkin. Gently does it on your way through these left-handers. Nail the exit and you could get a move done at the next hairpin. Time is running out for Fernando if he wants to try and get a podium here. It's going to be difficult to find his way past Larkin and Bentvelsen, but he needs to be careful about where he makes his moves. It is a double hairpin section through here, but it is very difficult to pass.
yeah, we saw the trio of the 2 blue cars and Afonso close that gap on the Team Green up ahead, but they've kind of stalled out the last few laps. They haven't been able to make any more forward motion as Mika and Serafimov up ahead have been able to hold Team Blue and the purple car of Afonso at bay. We see in the background there Alessandro Ranieri in the white car starting to close the gap on these guys. Not sure he's going to have any time to close up and close that gap to make a move, but we're starting to get down to under 5 minutes now. So if Afonso wants to get further forward, he's going to have to make that move now. But Leon Bentvelsen strong in race 1, currently holding down 4th spot. I thought he'd make more of a play at Mika and Serafimov when they caught up, but
that's a big dive. Big dive from Fernando Afonso, but he squeezed to the inside. And Matt Larkin has the luxury of a straighter exit going around the outside there. So, man, the dive was there, but they're so close to making contact. How many times have we seen tonight drivers make corner-to-corner contact in a straight line and have it result in a spin? But success, finally, for Fernando Afonso. He makes the move on Matt Larkin, and he makes it stick.
yeah, we've seen all night, or all day, Afonso being real late in the brakes. He's got a real control of the braking momentum of this BMW. He's been able to make a couple moves there. He goes a little defensive on Larkin, trying to fend off Larkin, making a dive on the inside as Afonso just did on Larkin moments ago. So next up on his hit list, Leon Bentvelsen. These were P1 and P2 of heat number 1. So We'll see if they've got anything here to battle out with this one with 3.5 minutes to go. They're running out of time.
Yeah, they certainly are. Well, out of the final corner, it's very rare to not see a little puff of gravel there on the exit. Drivers always love to maximize the curb on the exit there for the best run down the start-finish straight, but it does make life a little difficult for everyone behind you. We've definitely seen iRacing's debris refresh in action here today. There's been a lot of gravel being put onto the racetrack, particularly out of the final corner and in the double left after the hairpin. So the drivers will have to be careful of that. A little bit of gravel pickup can really mess with your grip in the second half of the lap. But regardless, Afonso has not quite been able to make an impression on Leon Benfelsen, who's now starting to pile the pressure on Adam Mika. Let's see what they can do here. Defensive now from Mika. Serafimov is going to try and give Mika a little bit of slipstream there coming into the hairpin. But it's very late on the brakes on the racing line for Benfelsen. He is alongside coming into the hairpin. Can he hold the outside line? It looks like he can. And it is going to become the inside line for the left-hander, as you said before, Rob. And he's made it work. Benfelsen's on the podium.
Nice move. He took a page out of the Fernando Afonso book there, real late on the brakes. Makes it stick. Nice move by Benfelsen. He's had a look at the clock and knows he doesn't have much time left. Next up, Ivo Serafimov. It was interesting to see the strategy there by Serafimov, Reese, moving over on the straight, trying to give Mika a little bit of extra draft. Benfelsen was able to fight against that and make the move around the outside.
Yeah, certainly was. Well, is there any further move here for Fernando Afonso? Adam Mika will be a little bit flummoxed with the move being done there by Benfelsen. Across the line they come to begin the last lap, I believe, actually.
Yeah, that was the white flag, yeah.
Looks like it is the white flag up the front of the field. So now the question becomes, can Benfelsen get into second or maybe even into the lead? Is there anything more that he has in those tires, in those brakes for any kind of move? And we still have to figure out who's going to finish fourth as well, because Mika, Afonso and Larkin are very close together up behind. There is Afonso in the purple machine. Is there any big move for him? It looked like some oversteer there for Adam Mika just up ahead. He has lost momentum coming out of the corner. I saw a little twitch from him before we switched to the back view. And now Mika is going to have to go defensive. Our top three is spaced out. Benfelsen trying to have a little look to the inside. Serafimov up ahead, but round the outside goes the number 22. He can't keep the pace up around the outside like Benfelsen could, but he's still going to have a go. He's going to send Mika offline. And oh, here comes Matt Larkin. Can he get it done? Whew, I love the racing in this series, but that has truly separated our groups here. Benfelsen having a little look at Serafimov there as round the outside tries Matt Larkin. Can he get the inside for the next hairpin? It looks like he will. It could be a change for fifth. Larkin versus Afonso, and they're almost coming together. Just slight contact on the exit. You can barely see any of the track on the onboard view. You can see inside Afonso's car, and he's going to defend the position. Oh, that's amazing. Up ahead, Andrew Moran is going to take victory. What a drive from Moran. Took the lead, was given the lead by Serafimov and never looked back. How about Benfelsen, though, getting onto the podium in both races?
Yeah, Leon Benfelsen will definitely be happy with that pair of races. A win in a P3. It's an overall P2 for him, so nicely done. So we still got a battle here between Rosario and Janchik. These guys have battled it out all race long, and they're it looks like they're going to cross the line this time without any incidents. So it's nice to see.
Oh, goodness.
Those cars felt better than what they are right now. But I was definitely a little more argy-bargy, topsy-turvy that race, Reese, than what we saw in race one, which definitely has a little bit of an effect when you invert the top 10. A little bit of the faster guys from race one trying to make their way back through the field, and with a 20-minute race, you don't have a whole lot of time to make those maneuvers.
No, certainly not. Well, Moran's going to win the second race here with third place in race one. Benfelsen, meanwhile, first in race one, third in race two. It looks like they might actually be equal on points this round, so we'll have joint round winners here. Ivo Serafimov is going to finish second place between them. Mika, Afonso, and Larkin going to round out your top 6 there. Behind them, Ranieri and Mike Sargent in 7th and 8th, separated by a couple of seconds. Ozmuller and Ian Witham crossed the line a few seconds apart. Jančić and Rosario battled all the way to the end despite making contact a couple of times. Zumator and Kent, the last 2 finishers of this race. Abdul Rahman Mahmood, unfortunately retiring, as well as Connor Bell, Kane Halliburton. Aitor Fernandez Blanco, unfortunately, lost connection to the server, and James Conrad was out very early as well. So a lot of drama in that second race. But for now, we can turn our attention to driver interviews. Have a chat to the ones that made it here in this race. Now, which of them is up first? It is Leon Bentvelsen, winner of race 1 and 3rd in race 2. Well done, Leon, and really good driving today. You pulled off some fantastic moves and ultimately in contention for the round win from all of that.
Yeah, it was quite fun.
You certainly had
first of all, I want to say sorry to Moran for pushing him wide in the double left-hander. I didn't make my apex, so that wasn't really clean.
Oh, fair enough.
For the rest, it was quite some good fun there.
Yeah, certainly looked like fun from our perspective. Sorry for talking over you, by the way. Honestly, Okayama turns out to be an incredibly good circuit for those big moves, right? Lots of heavy braking zones. You could really take advantage of being on the racing line on the outside in quite a few corners as well.
Yeah, and due to some banking, that's quite nice. Yeah, it's a good flowing circuit, but you really have to work to that passing bit. Otherwise, you're not close enough, and you're never gonna make it.
Well, coming through to the next round of the championship, I believe we are going to Charlotte Motor Speedway for the next round, and that's a circuit that's going to be, I think, a bit like Lebanon, plenty of tight quarters. Do you have any thoughts on that place before we go there?
Yeah, and some walls, right?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, certainly looking forward to it, Leon, and hopefully you see the same success there that you had here. Thanks for joining us.
That will be nice. Thanks for having me.
Leon Bentvelsen there. Beautiful drive here at Okayama. And next up, brilliant drive as well from Ivo Serafimov in race 2. Rob Campbell stood by with him.
Hey, Ivo, congrats on P2 in race 2. You took advantage of your invert from P10 in race 1, so looked like a little bit of maybe team orders out there towards the end of the race, getting the championship leader Andrew Moran up into P1. Is that what played out, or did he just get a little better run on you?
Well, thanks for the good words, but it was very hard for me to keep this pace. We knew that our teammate Andrew has better pace, and decided to let him through instead of fighting for positions, because we were just slowing him down. And you saw in the end it was hard for us we couldn't manage the 3 cars in the podium, and it was really hard for me to keep the second position, but I'm glad.
Yeah, definitely. You're able to hold on to P2. So looked like you found a little pace at the end of race 1 that you were able to hold on to race 2. Did you put a lot of practice in this week, Ivo? I know Okayama is a track that's very popular in the service. It comes up very often. Is it a track that you're very familiar with, or is it one that you really had to try and find those extra tenths this week at?
Okayama is a very interesting and strange. It takes interesting place in my heart because it was the first track I had ever a win with the MX-5. But since then, I struggle a lot. I almost hate it. And thanks to the academy, I managed to find some pace there. So this result, this progress was all about thanks to the academy, I have to admit, because Okayama is something I don't like to race on.
Oh, well, you did well tonight. So before we let you go, Ivo, anybody you want to thank or give a shout out to?
Oh, thanks for the community and thanks for the Kane, for Kane about putting me, like how it's say in English, man, back in line, showing me that my attempt to defend in the first race wasn't good. So yeah, he knows how to play dirty, but in a good way.
Perfect. Well, again, congrats, Evo, and we'll see you next week.
See you, and just one observation, very nice broadcast you have, so keep up. I really enjoy the job you're doing.
Thanks. We appreciate it, and we'll pass it on to our head chief, Daniel Zippy, in the production booth. Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Very kind words from Ivo Serafimov there. Thank you very much, mate. And, well, we'll move on to Andrew Moran, who took a third and a first tonight. Goodness me, Andrew. Certainly an interesting night for you. Plenty of success, but no one can say you didn't have to work for it.
Yeah, it was tough, especially the first race. You know, I didn't get a great quali, so I start second, and then just had a little contact that bundled me wide and just set me back, and then it was just too much to be able to come back from that. But yeah, second race was really strong, good at the start. I did have a little moment, went off track and thought I was going to crash, but then after that, you know, we got 3 green cars at the front for a minute and still brought it home 1-2. So that was good.
Yeah, certainly was. Great result for Team Green here tonight. And with those results, you should be able to at least maintain contention for the championship lead, if not outright keep it. So the season is going very well for you so far.
Yeah, yep. And you know, with this championship running, I got to score as many points as possible and get as many wins. But so it's tough. I would have liked to actually give Evo that win he deserved. He's been doing really well. So.
Yeah, regardless of second place, certainly nothing to sneeze at there. Well, moving on to the remaining rounds of the season, Charlotte Motor Speedway is what we're going to next. And are you
Dreadful.
thinking it's... Yeah, indeed. It's a track that I quite enjoy up to a point, but I'm wondering if there's going to be enough space to make the kind of moves that we saw here.
No, you're gonna see a lot of crashes, and so it'll be fun. It should be a fun watch. But I expect the chicane with those big blue sausages to kill some people. But you know, it'll be fun as always. But these things are boats as they are, and that track is really rough. It is not a good track, but that's all right. That's what we're here to do.
Yeah, indeed. And, well, what you did today was get quite a bit of success here, Andrew. Is there anyone you want to shout out for it?
Hey to Michael. He's at Sebring right now racing and can't race today. So what's up? Other than that, thanks everybody else, especially Almeida, putting this on. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, certainly a lot of fun for us as well. That was Andrew Moran there, winning race 2 here tonight. And finally, we're going to have an opportunity to chat to Adam Meeker, who had a pretty successful night in the middle of the top 10. Rob Campbell is going to be stood by with him for a chat about his night.
Yeah, Adam, well done. You had a P7 in race 1, and then you brought it home in 4th for race number 2. Looked like Team Green were trying to lock out the podium like we saw at Winton in week number 1. So unfortunately, Leon Benfelsen managed to get himself up into the final step on the podium. But how did you see race 2 playing out for you? Were you trying to hold on to that 3rd position to maximize points for Team Green, or what was the plan there?
I was trying my best to keep him behind me, keep Evo and Andrew safe in front of me too. I give him a little bit of buffer there. I defended on the back straight there, and yeah, he just took me around the outside, and I couldn't close the door on him there. But yeah, I feel like with these races are just a little bit longer than officials, and I haven't quite adapted to the extra tire wear quite yet.
Yeah, I think we mentioned it either last week or the week before that these tires on these cars are fairly hard and fairly stiff. it's really easy to heat them up and burn them off. But the next week we go to Charlotte at the Roval. We just heard your teammate Andrew Moran that he's not a big fan of that track. I think it's one of those tracks where most iRacers either really like it or they really hate it. How are you feeling about next week's chances in Charlotte?
This one's gonna take quite a bit of practice from me. I'm definitely not in love with the track, so I need to put in the time in the test drives and with my teammates, and hopefully you can get a good result next week.
Perfect. Well, it looks like you brought a little bit of a fan club in chat. We had them cheering you on. I'm not sure if you checked it at all during the race, but anybody you want to shout out here, Adam, before we close it off?
Yeah, I want to shout out my wife Donna. I know she's probably in the chat. This week at work was horrendous, and I needed to practice really hard because Okayama's not my greatest track in the world. So thank you, Donna, for making my life easy this week.
She's definitely an unsung soldier there this week for you, Adam. So congrats on the finish, and we hope to see you next week again.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Lovely stuff from Adam Mika. And, well, the driver interviews may be over, but we still must take a moment to say thank you to the Almeida Racing Academy for bringing us all of this action.
If you're a racing driver and you want to reach an advanced level, there's a faster and easier way to become competitive. I've gone from this to this in 5 years. Now, we've created the perfect free driver development guide to help you understand the right order of racing skills to develop if you want to become a competitive driver as quickly as possible. This guide was made after 3,000 hours of combined high-level coaching.
Well, I tell you what, Rob, what a round it was here of the Almeida Racing League, and really happy to have brought it all to you on Pit Road Productions. I'm really looking forward to the next round at Charlotte Motor Speedway this coming weekend.
Yeah, I don't know how you feel about the track, Reese, but I'm on the camp of I despise the Roval, but it does lend itself well to a lot of excitement and a lot of interesting racing, as Adam Moran mentioned. So these cars with the stiff suspension and the real thick tires on them, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, because you've got a mix of, as Moran mentioned, really heavy, high curbs there, where we'll be seeing a lot of drivers trying to utilize those curbs and maximize their lap time. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. It'll be a real challenge for our drivers in these cars.
Yeah, it's a difficult track to say the least. They'll have to be putting everything they've learned in the Almeida Racing Academy to the fore. Well, we hope you've enjoyed the show tonight, everybody. Thank you very much for hanging out in the broadcast chat and supporting your favorite drivers. I'm Reese Gardner, Rob Campbell's over there, and Daniel Zippy Salmon behind the scenes bringing you the pictures that include our very own. We're Pit Road Productions, and we'll see you next time.